you a little bit of a preliminary overview of what you're going to see coming up. I actually went in to edit it, and apparently the first clip of the video was corrupted, so I lost it. Gotta love technology, right? So what I did was I had 3-gallon-size bags of almost raised strawberries that were pesticide-free that had been sliced and put in the freezer. I actually bought them from someone else. So anyway, I needed to do something with them because I wanted to make jams and jellies, and our family eats a whole lot of strawberry jam, at least Alex does in particular, that's his favorite. So what I did was I got to looking at the no pectin method, which when I looked at the pectin package directions, it was almost 4 cups of strawberries to 7 cups of sugar plus the pectin. That is crazy. So I started researching the no pectin method, and I actually discovered that I could do it, and it was just involved cooking it a little bit longer, and it actually used less sugar. So it was a 1-to-1 for the sugar. So for every cup of sliced strawberries I had, there was a cup of sugar. So that's what I did, and then I stirred the sugar in to dissolve it really well with the strawberries and the juice, and then we were waiting for it to come up to temperature. So we need to use a candy thermometer, and we were trying to get it up to between 218 to 225 degrees. And then we work on, there's a couple of different methods that you can check and make sure that it's gelling properly. So you'll see that here. So sorry about the first part that I didn't get to get it in there, but hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Take care.
All right, we're almost up to temperature. We're at about 210 degrees. You see how it's starting to boil and foam up. So here in just a few minutes, we're going to do what's known as the sheeting method, which is I have a spoon inside of my freezer, getting really nice and cold, and then I will dip it quickly into the mixture, the strawberry jam mixture, and we'll see if it gels up on the spoon. If it's hanging, if it's just, dripping right off, we know it's not ready yet. If it hangs on there and thickens and gels up, we know that it's ready.
All right, I'm gonna dip in my chilled spoon. You see how it's dripping off and it's not hanging on the spoon? It is not ready. All right, we're gonna try again. Not quite yet. Okay. And you guys can't see that, but it's not really even wanting to drip. It's so we're getting there. I think we're going to leave it just a little bit longer. Okay, actually, you know what? I think we'll go ahead and try the saucer test too. So let's try that. So here's a saucer, and all we need is just a little bit of the juice. Don't need to worry about any strawberries in it. And then what we do is we pop it in the freezer. For just a couple of minutes. Alright, you see that? How it's just running really slowly across the plate? Yeah, we're right about at our gelling point. So it's actually hanging onto my finger even. Oh, see? It's not wanting to... It took it a good couple of seconds to drip off my finger. So we're going to test it one more time since, we had that in there and it's still been cooking while it's been in there, while the saucer was in the freezer. So I want to get just a little bit more syrup. And I'll put it in one more time. And juice. And we're going to fill it up till we have about a 1/4 inch head space. So it's almost up all the way to the rim of the jar, and that's right where I want it. And then we'll move on to the next one. Over on the stove, I have my water bath canner. with the water already heating up. And I always put a tablespoon of white vinegar into the water. That helps any minerals and things that are inside of your water from kind of clouding up your jars. I'm going to do a few of these, and then I'll wipe the rims of the ones I've done with a damp cloth and put the lids and rings on them and go ahead and sit them on the rack inside the canner. As soon as I fill it up, as soon as I get the canner full, then we will be processing it for 15 minutes. You might want to check with your elevation whether or not that's the proper amount of time for you, because different elevations have different processing times. And you want to make sure that the hot water inside your canner covers your jars completely by about an inch. So you want those jars completely immersed in water. You're not going to get any water in your jars, so don't worry about that. All right. All right, so it's finally at the gelling point, and we're going to fill our jars. The jars, I pop them in some boiling water for just a few minutes to sterilize them, then I let them air dry. So all I'm going to do is take a paper towel. It's damp. I'm going to wipe the rims. I want to make sure I don't have any syrup or anything on my rims to impede my seals. You can make a refrigerator recipe too that's good for several weeks, where you just do this, put them in the jars, let it come down to room temperature, and then store it in the refrigerator. I just water bath it so that way I can can it. Now their recommendations is that it's good for up to a year. I've had jelly that's been way longer than that, but you know, that's up to you, what you feel comfortable with storing them. I'm sure they just have to put a time frame on it, but all right, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these done and in here, and we'll check back in with you once these are all finished, and I'll show you how many I got out of all these, that 25 cups of strawberries and sugar.
All right, the first batch is coming out. When you're canning, these are awesome. They're relatively inexpensive. These are jar lifters. So I just grab, and you hear all that popping? That's the seals starting to seal. Now these will sit on my counter all day today, and then I won't put them away until tomorrow. And you can look, and you can see the berries are kind of more up toward the top, but it doesn't really matter. I have thought about getting an immersion blender and then blending them completely through. I mean, they're mushed up, but they tend to want to rise up closer to the top. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's just as delicious, but I have thought about doing an immersion blender just to blend it more thoroughly. So this is the first batch. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these out and get ready to start on the other batch. All right, guys, this is the finished product of those 3-gallon size bags. I think there's a total of 44 jars, if I counted correctly. And then a half a jar I'm going to pop in the fridge. Another thing I want to make sure that I tell you guys is that when you're dealing with jams and jellies, you know, when you first get it out, you're going to freak out because look at this. That is not jam or jelly, is it? Well, when you're doing that, you need to keep in mind, one, it's got to come down in temperature. The other thing is it can take up to 2 weeks for it to completely set. So these are going to go into the cupboard and, you know, set to make sure. Now, heaven forbid, for some reason this didn't turn out, I can go back and dump the jars out and reprocess them, or not reprocess them, sorry. Bring it back up, heat it back up, and you know, just heat it long enough to get it to re-gel. So there is, you know, it can be pretty forgiving, you know, thing to make. Jams and jellies tend to be the easiest. It's not as daunting as using a pressure cooker. You're just using a water bath canner, and you're just boiling it up. So, you know, and then if it doesn't gel up, you can always go back and redo. So I just thought I'd mention that to everyone. Thanks so much for watching once again, and we hope to see you guys again on the next video. Take it easy. Bye.